As I sit here, pen poised over paper, I find myself compelled to recount the tale of my family's tumultuous legacy, a legacy steeped in shadows, whispers, and the chilling allure of organized crime. It all began with my grandfather, a man whose name struck fear into the hearts of those who dared to oppose him. He built our family empire from the ground up, using cunning, charisma, and a ruthless ambition that knew no bounds. From the outside, we were the picture of respectability, a wealthy and influential dynasty with fingers intertwined in every facet of society. But behind closed doors, we were something else entirely, a tightly knit network of power, secrets, and unspoken alliances. Growing up, I was groomed to follow in my family's footsteps, to embrace the darkness that lurked within our bloodline. I learned the rules of our world early on: loyalty above all else, silence in the face of scrutiny, and the unyielding pursuit of power at any cost. But as I matured, a nagging sense of unease began to gnaw at the edges of my consciousness. I questioned the morality of our actions, the validity of our justifications, and the price we paid for our ill-gotten gains. Yet, despite my reservations, I found myself inexorably drawn into the fold, a pawn in a game much larger than myself. I watched as my family's influence spread like wildfire, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Deals were made, alliances forged, and enemies vanquished without mercy. And through it all, I remained a silent observer, grappling with the weight of my own complicity in our dark endeavors. But as the years wore on, cracks began to form in the facade of our invincibility. Rival factions emerged, vying for control of our empire with a ferocity that threatened to consume us all. Betrayals became commonplace, trust a fleeting illusion in a world built on deceit. And in the midst of the chaos, I found myself at a crossroads, a choice looming before me like a specter in the night. Do I continue down the path laid out before me, sacrificing my soul on the altar of ambition? Or do I dare to defy the legacy that binds me, forging my own destiny in the fires of redemption? The answers elude me still, lost in the maelstrom of uncertainty that surrounds my family's legacy. But one thing remains clear: I am no longer content to be a pawn in someone else's game. It is time for me to write my own story, to carve out a future free from the shadows that have haunted my past. And so, with a heavy heart and a determined spirit, I set out on a journey of self-discovery, a journey that will lead me to the very heart of darkness, where the lines between right and wrong blur into nothingness. But amidst the chaos and confusion, I cling to one simple truth: the power to change lies within me, waiting to be unleashed upon the world. And though the road ahead may be fraught with peril, I walk it with my head held high, ready to face whatever trials may come my way. For I am not just a product of my family's legacy, I am its master, and it is time for me to reclaim my destiny. As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, the once sturdy foundation of my family's empire began to crumble beneath the weight of our own deceit. Betrayals, once whispered in hushed tones, now echoed through the corridors of power with deafening clarity. It seemed that no one could be trusted, not even those bound to us by blood. I watched helplessly as alliances dissolved and rival factions emerged, each vying for control of our crumbling dynasty. Old grudges resurfaced, festering wounds reopened with a vengeance that threatened to tear us apart. And in the midst of the chaos, I found myself caught in a web of lies spun by those closest to me. My father, once the stalwart patriarch of our family, became a shadow of his former self, a puppet manipulated by unseen hands, his once loyal allies turning against him with a ruthlessness that chilled me to the bone. I saw the desperation in his eyes, the fear that gnawed at his soul as he fought to hold on to power, slipping through his fingers like grains of sand. But even as our world crumbled around us, I clung to a sliver of hope, a belief that somehow, some way, we could emerge from the ashes stronger than before. I refused to let despair consume me, to surrender to the darkness that threatened to engulf us all. Instead, I set out on a mission to uncover the truth, to peel back the layers of deception that shrouded our family in darkness and expose the rot at its core. What I discovered shook me to my very core. Secrets buried deep within the fabric of our history, sins too heinous to be forgiven, and betrayals that cut deeper than any blade. And yet, amidst the chaos and confusion, I found something unexpected, a flicker of humanity in the eyes of those I once considered enemies, a glimmer of hope in the darkness that threatened to consume us all. Armed with this newfound knowledge, I embarked on a dangerous game of cat and mouse, a high-stakes gamble that would either save my family from ruin or condemn us to oblivion. I forged alliances with unlikely allies, made deals with the devil himself, all in the name of securing our survival in a world where trust was a commodity in short supply. But as the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, I began to realize that the true enemy lay not in the shadows that lurked beyond our walls, but within the very heart of our family itself. And so, with a heavy heart and a determined spirit, I made a choice to confront the darkness that threatened to consume us all, to fight for redemption in a world devoid of mercy. For I refuse to be a pawn in someone else's game. I am the master of my own destiny, and it is time for me to take control of the narrative once and for all. With each passing day, the walls of my family's empire closed in around me, suffocating me with the weight of our sins. The once glamorous facade of wealth and power had crumbled, leaving behind nothing but ashes and ruin. And yet, amidst the chaos and despair, I found a glimmer of hope, a chance for redemption in a world steeped in darkness. Driven by a burning desire to break free from the shackles of my family's legacy, I embarked on a perilous journey, a journey fraught with danger and uncertainty, but filled with the promise of a better tomorrow. With the help of unlikely allies and a steely resolve that refused to be extinguished, I set out to carve out a new life for myself beyond the reach of my past. But escape would not come easy, not when my family's reach extended to every corner of the globe, their influence seeping into the very fabric of society. I knew that to truly be free, I would have to confront the demons of my past head-on, to face the consequences of my actions and make amends for the sins that stained my soul. And so, armed with nothing but my wits and an unyielding determination, I embarked on a journey of self-discovery, a journey that would lead me to the darkest depths of despair and the highest peaks of redemption. Along the way, I encountered obstacles and challenges that tested my resolve, forcing me to confront the truth of who I was and who I wanted to become. But with each trial overcome, I felt a weight lift from my shoulders, a sense of liberation that I had never known before. And as I ventured further into the unknown, I began to see glimpses of the person I was meant to be, a person unburdened by the sins of their past, unbound by the chains of their family's legacy. In the end, it was not just about escaping my family's empire. It was about reclaiming my own identity, forging my own path in a world that had long sought to define me. And though the road ahead may be fraught with danger and uncertainty, I walk it with my head held high, knowing that I am finally free to write my own story, to shape my own destiny, and to become the person I was always meant to be.